people, welcome to a no-nonsense tackle review. I'm out in the garden because we can't do any fishing outside really, only at my local pond, which I can do. I've got about 3 or 4 local ponds around here, but I thought it's terrible weather conditions. Look, it's even started to snow now. I've just set a camera up and everything. I thought, oh, we'll get going with this, and it started to snow. So anyway, no-nonsense tackle review. In this tackle review, we're going to have a look at the ICS system from Preston Innovations. Alright? So, Preston Innovations ICS system is a fantastic design, product, whatever you want to call it. You get a stem like this, and then what you can do is you can interchange feeders, pellet feeders. This one is a banjo feeder, but I really like this because it's like an hybrid feeder really, so I really like the banjo ones. A lot of people don't like them, but I do. And then you've got a distance feeder. Look at all the snow on that. That's a distance feeder. All right, and then you've got your method feeder. So you've got all different ones, plus it's even that good that you can change it. You can just slip a bomb on as well and fish bomb and bread, which we've done in the past. I hope I'm going to get this done before it absolutely canes it down with snow. Now, it's a great design, and I love these to bits, don't get me wrong. And all you do is slide these come off, and you slide that up your line. You need a quick change bead, put a quick change bead on, thread it all through, and then basically that goes on your line, and you can interchange them from a method feeder and all the ones that I've mentioned before. Now, because this is a no-nonsense review, I'm going to tell you exactly what's wrong with this. Now, method feeder, this is great. I've had no problems with this. Is my experience, so I'm not talking about anyone else's, not talking about their opinion or anything like this. This is my experience, my opinion. Method feeder, absolutely bang on, caught loads of fish on it. The moulds are great. I have to put a plastic bag over the moulds because I like my pellets a bit more sticky, a bit more. I can put a lot more water in. You've seen them before where I put a bag around the method feeder and mould my pellets around and then chuck that out. But the method feeder, fantastic, great. Leave that alone. Right, this one is the old school banjo feeder. Now, they've put I find this one great as well. I like this one for winter because there's a lot more body to it, and you can just put pellets in there, put it in a mould, and you don't get as many pellets as on the method feeder. So I find this one in the winter, it's exactly like an hybrid feeder for me, and I really like this one. So that's fantastic. I ain't got to it yet. Now, these two, this big old distance feeder and the shovel feeder, the pellet feeder. Now, I'll leave that one for last. This one, I've used this a few times at Worsborough, and I find that you can get too many pellets around it. Now, I wouldn't really use this for a distance. I know it's called the distance method feeder or something like that it's called, but I'd probably rather use one of these, keep calling it the banjo one. I'd rather use one of them for distance. I find it much better. So this one, the problem I've got with this one, I ain't got really any venues where I use it for an 100 yard cast, 100 metre cast, and I'd rather use a method feeder or one of them. Now this is too many pellets. You get too many pellets round it, or too much ground bait, too much bait, and I think that this would be perfect. So I wouldn't use it for any of my fishing. Now, I did buy it for Worsborough, and it's just too big and bulky, and when you're chucking it out, it goes in like a bloody bomb. So this one, what I would use it for if I went carp fishing, and instead of, I'm on about proper carp fishing, because they use method feeders in carp fishing. I get a small one of these, I think it goes to about 40 gram, and I chuck this one out far. You get loads of bait around it and put a big boilie on top and what have you. So I think for match fishing, you don't need this. This is I won't even bother. I bought it for Worsborough, and I've only used it a couple of times, and it's rubbish basically. For this, I'm not talking about a product. I'm talking about it's rubbish for me. I don't want it in my fishing. It's too bulky, too big. Alright, so I'm not saying that it's a rubbish product. I'm just saying that I wouldn't use it, and it's no good for me. So that one goes over there. Now, I'm a massive fan of pellet feeders, shovel feeders, whatever you want to call them in the market. and I loved the old school Preston pellet feeders. I don't think I've got one actually, I'd show it you. No, probably lost it in a tree or something. I were a massive fan of the old school pellet feeders, and they were my favourite ever. I remember going down to Barston Lakes and fishing, what did I fish? The golden rod qualifier, and I had a shovel feeder on then, and I used it and caught loads of fish and qualified. So I'm a massive fan of pellet feeders, shovel feeders. And the reason for it is I can put pellets, I can put hard pellets in there and then top it off with some soft pellets or a bit of ground bait, and then just push mine in my wafter or whatever. I don't know if we're going to finish this. My wafter just in the front, cap it off, and then when it goes in, it obviously pushes, the water pushes through there and all the pellets come out, and it's a nice little package there. Plus you get hard pellets in your peg as well, you're not, you know, so that's why I'm a massive fan of them. Now this is, it's not very good, and I'll tell you the reason why. I don't know if it's because of the design or whatever. Now the old school ones, they used to have a cap over the top there, which then allowed about 3 or 4 holes at the back to push the water through, and then obviously all the bait would come out the other side. So it went into the water, there were a cap over the top, and there were a few holes there, and the water obviously, with the water pressure, it pushed through these holes, and then it came out the other side, which are absolutely fantastic. Now these ones, have changed the design where they've put, it's like in a little cage thing, they put loads of holes around the top. I'll show you close-ups of these. They've put loads of holes around the top, and then the water pressure, when it goes into the water, I've used these a few times, and they're rubbish. They're absolute rubbish. In fact, they're crap, and I wouldn't use them again. You know what I would do with these is, well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with these. So the old school ones had a cap over. These ones, when you go in, you fill it up, put whatever you want in, and then the water pressure, obviously because there's more holes in it, more holes down the side, it only takes a bit off of the front. And every time I've brought this in, I get loads of pellets stuck on in the back, in the side of it. Loads and loads of pellets all stuck in. I've had a few times where my pellet, what I've got on my up bait, that ain't even come out of here. It's not even been pushed out. And the fundamental problem with this is there's too many holes in it. It wants to have that cap over the top like that. Have 2 or 3 holes like the old one. This would be a bang-on product, but it wants to have that there, a few holes in the back, and then the water pressure pushes that through, and it makes the pellets and your hook bait come out. So this I don't use, and I'm a massive fan of pellet feeders. So this for me, out of the ICS system from Preston, is the worst one, and I wouldn't use it. And that, my friends, let me just show you this, what's happening with these. Bye-bye. So that's gone in the bin. I will not use them ever again. But it's a no nonsense review, and these two are absolutely perfect, and I really like them. Like I said, you can put a bomb on there. I've done loads of videos where I can just put a bomb on, so I think we're gonna have to call it there, get his camera in before it comes down even more and damages my camera and everything. But these two, great product, and I use these all the time, the banjo feeder and the method feeder and the bombs. But for me, the pellet feeder is out. Hope you enjoyed these no nonsense reviews. If you want to see any more, then just comment below or what you want to see, and I will give you my honest opinion. Let's get indoors and get warm because it's absolutely freezing. Right, I'll see you next time. Keep on bagging.